What? What? No, that was not planned. Generic control to that goes. We're back with some more FNAF videos. Today we are doing FNAF, the final timeline. And of course, this is a game theory video. Of course, you can check out my reaction to the last one, which was we were right all along. I'll leave it right up there. I'll also be linked down below in the description. Also going to be a playlist on my channel with all the other game theory FNAF videos. Going in chronological order when I react to. I've only ever played the very first FNAF game. Actually beat that game. Have not played any of the games since then. So all of this has been a crazy journey, even through the wrong theories, the right theories. Even the puppet that I'm terrified of, but it's been a journey. This is a longer video today, so I'm excited for it. I absolutely love recording these videos. Thank you so much for the support you show these videos. I'm trying to upload 100 videos this month, so patrons get like all of them a day early. $30 a month gets you 96 videos a day early for the month of December. So, well, if you were at the beginning of December. Now we're a couple days into December, but you can be subscribed to those future videos. I upload these every single week. I'm also going to stream today at 5 p.m. playing some Pokemon White Nuzlocke. First time playing Pokemon White. It has been a journey so far. Haven't lost too many Pokemon. Lost a couple Pokemon that I really did not want to lose, but enough about that. We're doing FNAF today. It's very, very interesting. I wonder what the full story is going to be. Ultimate Custom Night was definitely interesting to hear about in last week's episode, so definitely go check out that video if you haven't already. But let's go ahead and jump into FNAF, the final timeline. People asking
Hi,
if
I'm Masahiro Sakurai. Today, I'd like to introduce you to the new Super Smash Bros. Game for the Nintendo Switch.
Is it going to be about FNAF?
Series. I'm sure you're all eager to find out who will be joining the roster this time.
Oh God!
Please take a look.
Like I said, I've only ever played Smash Melee for a weekend. Everyone is here. I don't know about everyone. Where's Waluigi? It's Freddy Fazbear. Mangle. Is this like, there's the puppet. Get out of here. 4 years ago? Is Smash Ultimate 4 years old? Filthy Frank. Star Foxy. Nugget. Robbie Rotten. Waluigi. Bees. Okay. I've reacted to the Alfred CPU CS. So that's a thing. I've learned a lot about Smash. I've only ever played Melee for a weekend. Now this is a pretty cool intro. Hopefully it's not like, you know, copyright or anything like that. Oh, do the roll. It's not technically a barrel roll.
Hello, Internet. Welcome to Game Theory, the William Afton of YouTube.
I always come back.
Apparently.
So here's something crazy. You know how every FNAF game tends to have
What's with
5 main nights, a bonus
scene on
6th
YouTube?
night that gets you more lore hints, and then a challenge mode 7th night where you customize all the animatronics?
Sure.
Look at
I
the
haven't
game.
done the 7th
We have
night.
5 main games bearing the
On the
5
first
nights
game.
title,
I've only
a
ever played the
bonus
first
6th game that was mostly for lore, and now a 7th standalone release where you customize the animatronics.
Yeah.
The game releases directly mirror the gameplay. Either
They
Scott is a
have
mad
5 that are
genius, or I'm
serious.
thinking about things way too hard.
No.
You try to read into every little thing,
Hippo.
find meaning in everything anyone says, you'll just drive yourself crazy.
Correct.
I heard you last time, Mr. Hippo. But guess what,
He's
you
right.
Barney
He has a
reject?
point.
Reading into every little thing
I had a
is
birthday
the
party with
only
Barney.
way to have this
Put on
series
VHS
make
tape.
any sort of sense whatsoever. Case in point, today's episode. With the final novel out and Ultimate
The
Custom
final
ripped
novel?
to shreds, it finally feels like the story of FNAF is at its end. Or at least
This
the
part of the story.
storyline is at its end.
Yeah, the
the series
Athens.
will probably come back to tell another story in the same universe later. I mean, it's
Steven
exactly
universe?
what Scott did with FNAF 4, the quote-unquote final chapter.
But
Of
it wasn't.
the original FNAF story. I see what you did there, Scotty. It's the final chapter.
original.
Of the original.
But then he
story.
went and
But
did it
oh
extra.
no, friends, he wasn't done. He even ended that teaser with a question mark if you brighten that screen up.
Really?
enough. Man,
He
Scott,
actually-
you really wanted to leave the door open for more games in the series,
Literally.
didn't you? You were milking
I-
it more than
the
I
money.
was. Or I guess we're both milkmaids at the teat of Freddy Fazcow. Anyway, as they say in FNAF World, the pieces
That was
are
weird.
in place for us. So it's time to take one final step back and put every
One-
single one of those pieces
Every single
together
time he's
into
like, oh, this is the
my
last
final
area, this is the
timeline
last time.
for the final FNAF game. Though,
Or the
let
final-
me save you some work. If you brighten the image you see on screen
If there's a
right
question
now,
mark.
you'll see that there's a question mark there, since, you know,
I always come back.
And if he comes back, well,
It's
I gotta
definitely
pull
not gonna be the
myself
last
a
one.
Samurai Freddy and pursue the anime Fox of Truth wherever it may
What
lead.
in the
Let's
world?
do this.
Why is
now,
Freddy a
putting together
samurai?
A final timeline of events
Why?
for the series is incredibly challenging and requires us covering a lot of really minute details from literally every element the series has ever released. This is my longest, most involved theory in 7 years, covering every square
Have we
inch of
really
the
watched
series.
7
Fair
years
warning
of
that this episode
FNAF
is
game
not for
theory
the faint of
videos?
heart. It is extreme.
Oh God, I
A way
watched
for
it
me
every
to
single week.
simultaneously flex my knowledge of the minutiae of the series, all while trying to
Flex?
come up with a satisfactory answer to pretty much every
I'm wearing
question
the
it has
baseball
ever
tee, you can't
thrown
really
our
see it.
way. And of course, there are some
The shirtless
questions
picture
that
would be on
don't
the screen.
have clean answers, which I'll be calling out for you as I go. So for those of you who want to take the challenge and attempt a timeline on your own, let me first explain my thought process. As I was writing this episode, there are 3 hard and fast rules that I applied.
Okay.
First, it's important to note that I put greater emphasis on information that was released more recently in the
Well,
series.
yeah, because it's probably
While,
the most
yes,
accurate.
Everything in the series is important. By FNAF 4 and even more so sister
Some stuff
location, we can
was
assume that
making
Scott
more
had a
sense.
complete picture of the story in his mind. It's easy to forget that FNAF 1 was
versus
going to be
game
Scott's
1.
final game after years of trying to be a game designer and hitting dead ends. Do you really think that he imagined a lore so deep that it would cover 8 games,
No,
5
no,
books,
he did
and
not.
countless teasers? That he
No,
predicted his
and a
story would be
movie.
so massively popular that it would involve undead purple people way back when we were all just making memes about Foxy Swiggity Swooty coming for that booty?
Oh,
Probably
God.
not.
Remember the
So
old
it's safe to
memes?
assume that the newest information
Old
we're
meme
getting in
format?
games is the most accurate in pointing to the final story he's looking to tell.
Oh, and there's the
so
old
that's
man
rule number
fishing.
1. Rule number 2, adhering to key dates and events.
Which,
Now,
do we
there
even
isn't
know
much
the
that's
actual,
certain
like,
in this
dates?
story, which means that the things we do know
there's
must
the
serve as
puppet.
fixed points that the other details fit around. We know for a fact from FNAF 1 phone calls that the animatronics are allowed to walk around freely
During
until
the
the
day.
bite of 87.
Yeah.
We know from FNAF 3 calls that the golden springlock suits are eventually retired to a back room after a tragedy at a sister location. the
Yeah, a
FNAF 4
sister
Bite,
location.
which itself takes place in 1983. FNAF 3 also tells us that at some point
4
William
years.
Afton tries to dismantle the robots, whose spirits rebel, causing him to become Springtrap, eventually getting
Yeah.
himself sealed up behind a wall until the workers at Fazbear Fright discover his body and set him loose again. Details
Set
like
him
those
loose.
have to be our guideposts if we're having any hopes of getting anywhere in the story.
It's a very
And lastly,
complex story.
Rule number 3, realizing that this isn't just a simple linear timeline.
No, it's not.
Clearly established in the games that
When does the
multiple
time
Fazbear
travel get
locations
involved?
exist at the same time, and that the events in one affect what happens in other locations. For proof,
Ooh.
just look at Phone Guy in FNAF 3.
Welcome to your new career
Isn't that
as a
actually
performer
Scott?
slash entertainer for Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. Right now, we have 2 specially
Oh, hi.
designed suits that double as both animatronic and suit. After learning
Why
of
was
an
this running past
unfortunate
window?
incident at the sister location involving multiple and simultaneous spring lock failures, the company has deemed the suits temporarily unfit for employees.
Yeah, I would
This not only
imagine.
tells us that the first
Which is
Freddy
kind of a weird
Fazbear's
thing
Pizza
they
had 2
ever
golden
did.
suits, but also that the first Freddy's was open at the same time as the FNAF 4 Freddy's. The springlock failure in the FNAF 4 location prompted the yellow suits to be retired in the FNAF 1 location. In short,
the
a lot
Springtrap
of these
suits,
events overlap.
the yellow ones?
Restaurants often stay open for
I don't
years
think I ever
beyond
noticed
what
that.
we see in the games, and everything weaves together.
Well,
in a
the
way
internet
that's
wasn't
much more
really a thing. They
complicated
couldn't
than
cancel
simply
them, really.
saying, this restaurant opened, kids died, it closed. The next one opened, kids died again, it closed. In all honesty, I suppose you could simplify it to that level, but we're
Kind
not
of.
going to. I am holding
It's more
myself
complex
to a
than
higher
that.
standard. A slightly higher standard, but a higher standard
Is that the-
nonetheless.
is that like
So
the
with those
coin that he
3
minted for the
logical
merch?
rules in place, let's get analyzed.
That's why he's gonna zoom out there to
Then
show
we
like
have
the
to
sleeve of the
identify who
puppet.
William's first victim was. Now, I've covered FNAF a lot, but in all
You
my
think?
theories, one thing has remained consistent since FNAF 2, that the puppet was first. Henry's daughter. She is the character
Charlotte?
who gives life to all the other animatronics, so it would just make sense for her to be victim numero uno. But outside of that, it's always
Literally take
been
any other
just an
form.
assumption. And now
Like,
that we've
just
seen
don't
the
be
event
super
actually take
long
place
and
in the
skinny,
games,
like
I think
unnaturally
I've been wrong about
skinny.
it this entire time.
no
Think
way a
about it.
living
We
thing
have
can be
proof
that
that
skinny
William
like that.
kills Henry's daughter in FNAF 6. But as I talked about in a previous theory, we see
Later that night.
later that night, Afton goes to a place called Junior's where he's turned away at the door. Now, why would Scott show us this? FNAF 6
I don't
was
know.
all about tying
Doesn't
up
do
loose
accidents
ends. He's
or-
not just gonna throw in a random bar to establish that the mustard man is an alcoholic or anything. He's doing it to establish a timeline.
Oh,
the
dominance?
only
No.
time we
Guess
hear
not.
of anyone being turned away from any building for any reason in this series is in
Was-
FNAF 2.
From what I understand, the building is on lockdown. No one is allowed in or out, especially concerning any previous employees.
Oh, and then
the name
he's
Juniors
mustard.
makes sense in Scott's classic way of giving us
We do
clues
not
that are
serve
meant to clarify
murderers.
things, but really just end up confusing all of us. Remember, FNAF 2's location is the grand reopening, a second Freddy
Fazbear's
Fazbear's
Juniors.
Pizzeria location, a junior location, if you
Mhm.
will. And lastly, to further solidify the
Get outta
puppet
here.
coming later in the timeline, remember why Freddy's closed in the first place. It wasn't due to murders or animatronics going haywire.
It was
According
because
to the
of-
FNAF 1 newspapers, people just got weirded out by a place where kids disappeared. Quote,
Oh.
"A long struggle to stay in business after the tragedy that took place there many years ago, Freddy Fazbear's Pizza has announced that it'll close by year's end." End quote. This all means
kinda
that
weird
the
that they would
missing
go with
children's
year's end.
incident where 5
You think it
kids
would,
go
like,
missing at a
do it
Freddy
immediately, stop the
Fazbear's
bleeding?
Pizza must be the first event of the timeline. William Afton uses the Spring Bonnie suit to lure 5 kids to the back employees only safe
That's very
rooms that we hear about in
Jerry
FNAF 3,
Sandusky-like.
hiding their dead bodies in the animatronic suits. We can even figure out the order of who was killed when based on clues hidden in Ultimate Custom Night. We know with 100% certainty that Chica was first based on one of her death lines.
What? I was first.
That's about as explicit as you get with these games.
Yeah, I
From a
guess, yeah, that's a
storytelling
pretty
standpoint,
close-
I hate that Chica's first
close
because
cover
it
there.
really should have been Golden Freddy, so he could be the first spirit killed and the final
No.
spirit to haunt Afton in Custom Night, but whatever. Chica, aka Susie, is death
Susie,
number 1.
okay.
She's lured away by Afton, telling her that her dog died. We see it in
God,
FNAF
that's
6's Fruity
terrifying.
Maze. We also read about it in the 4th closet. Quote, "Beside
fourth
a little
closet?
girl with blonde curls. I heard Daddy say he was hit by a car, but I knew it wasn't true. Bonnie told me it wasn't true.
Bonnie?
He said he found my puppy. And did he take you to your puppy? He took me, but I don't remember. My name's
took
Susie."
me?
We even hear about it in the Chica anime
Oh
cutscenes
god,
from
that
Custom
thing.
Night.
Oh
I
god,
told
yeah.
him that someone ran over his dog in front of my house.
Jeez, Scott, I know we were all looking for answers, but,
But that's-
man, you beat that one over the head, didn't ya?
Nope.
Not that I'm complaining, but that one was a bit overly obvious, and
Nah.
all the other ones are just so damn obscure.
When
Just
you
gotta
don't-
find a better balance here, man.
When he's
From
giving you
there,
all the things you
4
haven't
other
figured
kids
out,
get
like you
caked and
said.
stuffed into suits. We know
You
their
can't
names
really
based on
fault
the
'em.
gravestones at the end of FNAF 6. Gabriel, Fritz, Jeremy, and
Fritz, what a name.
Grass. Hey, who are we to judge what other people name their kids? Probably some celebrity's kid. Oh, you must meet my children. This
Tall
is Apple,
grass.
audio science, and grass. All joking aside, though, loyal
That's
fans
accurate.
will remember
That's
this
accurate.
last grave was giving me a lot of trouble during a past theory.
But somebody
You see,
figured it out, I'm
this
sure.
book, the FNAF Survival Logbook, holds a ton of reveals about the franchise, but they're
Uh-huh.
all hidden in code. Some I was able to deduce, some left me stumped. But a few hours
Someone get
after
Elizabeth
releasing
from
my video
Bioshock
covering
info
the
on
book,
this.
the mystery was solved by the brilliant deduction of game theorist subreddit user DPowerful1. DPowerful1
Okay.
used the numbers that I had
Oh,
found,
that's
52,
actually a clever
39,
name.
15, 7, 2, 10, 11, 8, and 11, and put them not into an alphabet grid for ciphers like I'd
But
been doing,
for
and like the
a
book was
what?
clearly hinting towards,
But it
instead
wasn't.
put them into the word search.
What?
Places. Using the numbers as coordinates in the word search, you could spell the name
What?
Cassidy, a name
Ca-
that must
What?
belong to Golden Freddy based on the repeated use of Golden Freddy's signature line of "It's me"
It's
throughout
me.
the book, the gravestone imagery which lines up with the 50th
My
history
name.
gravestone at the end of FNAF 6, and a mention
He
of
enjoys this
Cassidy
way
in
too
the
much.
final FNAF novel, The Fourth
That's
Closet.
Cassidy.
And that would be more than enough proof, but it's not all. In the novel, Cassidy is described as a girl
With
with
long-
black hair. And what do we see in
Black-
the logbook? The puppet giving cake to a little girl with black hair. The
Oh.
only human child in the logbook, no
Is-
less. And it's happening on a page talking
Okay.
about your happiest day. A direct reference to the happiest day minigame from FNAF
Cassidy.
3, where the puppet gives cake to Golden Freddy in an effort to release its soul. You can even hear a girlish laugh every time Golden Freddy is summoned way back in
What do you mean
FNAF 1.
summon?
Literally
No,
everything
that was
about
not
this
planned.
reveal lines up. Everything, of course, except for the pronoun of he being used to talk about the one you should not have killed throughout Custom Night, which, as we
that
established
Cassie?
last episode, is referring to Golden Freddy. But consider this: Golden Freddy is a male character. He's
Yeah.
Freddy Fazbear. He's Fredbear.
So that's the
regardless
he.
of the spirit that possesses it. So the gender confusion works here. Scott
Pronouns.
even used that to his advantage in the casting call, where he was specifically looking for auditions
That can
where,
be
quote,
both.
the gender should not be immediately clear. It should work as either a young boy
Dude, that's so
or a young
vague on
girl.
purpose,
Now,
like,
teaching
bro.
kids that gender is fluid. but only if you spend 4 years picking apart its obscure lore. Yeah, by the way, FNAF is 4 years old this August.
Okay.
It's crazy, right? Wow.
When was this video?
For a long time.
Yeah, yes.
The last thing to say about Golden Freddy is
This
proving
video
that
is
he
4
gets
years
possessed
old.
Here
29
at
million
the first
views.
Freddy Fazbear
Jesus.
Pizza location rather than in FNAF 4 like most of us have
I
assumed
actually
in the
have
past.
more
You
views
see, an ultimate
between the
custom
old channel and
night
this channel, yeah.
item called a
That's
death
wild.
coin that can eliminate one animatronic from the game. But if you use it on Golden Freddy, you don't eliminate him from the game, you just get jump scared by Fredbear.
Oh,
And
you
then hear some
can't?
strange sounds.
Oh.
Ah!
Oh, okay.
Huh. It
I would've
almost
tried it
sounds
too,
like
to be
Fredbear
fair.
is underwater, which we all know is going to be terrible for those spring locks. Anyway, I played around with those audio files
Yeah.
and got them to hear. Laughter, obviously.
Okay. I don't know about obviously.
Let's find a suit that's right for you. And there was more fantasy and fun where I came from. That last one feels
That's
really
wild.
random, right? Like, arg, I'm an angry spirit who just killed you.
Arg,
But let me tell
he's
you
a
about
pirate
my love
now.
of fantasy, fairies, and long walks on the beach first. I'm very in touch with my emotions. However,
I
the
don't know about
phrase
that now.
fantasy and fun is a direct reference to the first game in the franchise, where Phone Guy welcomes you to...
Freddy Fazbear's Pizza,
A
a
place-
magical place for kids and grown-ups alike, where fantasy and fun come to life.
It's got
That's
telling us
nice.
that Golden Freddy is the same spirit who speaks to the crying child via the Fredbear plush at the end of FNAF 4,
Psychic
who
friend
dates all
Fredbear.
the way back to the first pizzeria and the missing children's incident. Phew, you got all that?
God, when I
Good,
played this game, I
because
had
that's
no
the easy
idea.
Stuff. Well,
No
not
idea.
easy, obviously, considering I'm on page 4 of this script and I've only just talked about the first
it's a long
event in
video.
the series. But there is consistent logic
We're like
and evidence
halfway
to
through
back
the
it all
video.
up. However, it's at
A little
this
over halfway.
point that things get messy from a timeline standpoint. You see, right now there are two dangling threads of events that directly conflict with each other. One,
Maybe
the
they happen at
first
the same
Freddy
time?
Fazbear location has to close so it can reopen sometime before 1987.
Yes.
However, it has to remain open at least until 1983 when the FNAF 4 bite happens, the event that prompts
Yes.
Phone Guy to call back to the FNAF 1 location informing them that the Springlock suits are being retired.
Welcome to your new career as a performer,
Your new career.
entertainer for Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. Right now,
I'm technically an
you have
online
specially
entertainer.
designed suits that double as both
Whatever you think that
animatronic
title
and
is.
suit. After learning of an unfortunate incident at the sister
An
location
unfortunate.
involving multiple and simultaneous spring lock failures, the company has deemed the suits temporarily unfit for employees.
This is
Whoever
important because
approved
Phone Guy
those?
later makes a point of saying that the Spring Bonnie suit is still being moved.
Management has also been made aware that the Spring Bonnie animatronic has been noticeably moved.
Which implies
mean?
that Afton is still using it to kill kids, aka
Oh.
the missing children's incident is still going on even after the bite of 1983. That would all be fine
Yes.
except for point number 2. According to Hand Unit and Sister Location, Circus
Maybe it was a
Baby's
cover-up.
Pizza World is opened after Freddy Fazbear's is closed.
Due to the massive success, and even more so the unfortunate closing of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, it was clear that the stage was set, no pun intended, for another contender in children's entertainment.
Again, this wouldn't be a problem if it wasn't for the empty girl's bedroom that we see in FNAF 4. As we established in a previous episode using the FNAF survival logbook, the crying child is Michael
it might not
Afton,
actually be.
which
I
would
think
make
that theory might
this
be wrong.
his
Some people
sister's
said
room,
it's
Elizabeth Afton,
wrong.
the girl who gets herself clawed and goes on to
and turns
possess
into Baby.
on the opening day of Baby's Pizzeria. That's why she's missing and why her room is empty. But that can't happen if Freddy's is still open, and Freddy's can't be closed until the bite of 83 causes the spring lock
Okay,
to be
yeah, that's-
retired so that Phone Guy can make his call. You see the problem there? Do you
That's why
understand
I guess
creating
it's
a
going back
timeline
to,
of
like,
all this
the-
stuff is
the
so
games.
darn complicated. Anyway, to move forward, we have
It's
to
just
apply
ask
rule
Scott
number
which
1
was
that
the
I
right
talked about
way.
earlier and throw out some of the Phone Guy information in order for the events to work.
That
Freddy
makes sense.
Fazbear's first location closes in the aftermath of the missing children's incident. With no pizzeria to serve as his murder den, Afton tries to launch a new
another restaurant.
Circus Baby's Pizza World. It's important to note that this is an actual restaurant and not the underground rental service you see in Sister Location. We'll get to that one much later. Based on the name, we can
Okay.
be confident that this place has a clown aesthetic.
How do you even
which
get
makes it
get
likely
approval to
that
do all
the
that stuff underneath?
animatronics
Is he
still
like
fit into
super
the
mega
Freddy
rich or something?
Fazbear
Is he
series of
Batman?
Restaurants were made specifically for this place. The mini arenas, balloon
I don't
boat,
like them.
JJ Didi, and of course,
I don't like any of
star
the things on screen
attraction,
there.
Baby. Notice how they
She's
all
okay.
even look
The rest
alike.
of them, no.
However, on day 1 of the restaurant opening, Elizabeth, Afton's daughter, finds herself alone with Baby and gets herself
Scoop.
clawed. We know that it's closed on day 1, both from Baby's
From
store
day
and
one.
sister location.
Did you know that I was on stage once? It wasn't for very long. Only one day.
And from this hidden news story about a supposed gas leak posted on Scott's website in the lead up to the release of the game. This in turn explains a lot of the weirdness going on in FNAF 4. Why Elizabeth's room is empty. Why Michael Afton has nightmares of animatronics with stomach mouths. And why William locks Michael in his room and has so many surveillance cameras following him around. He doesn't want what happened to his daughter to also happen to his youngest son. You see why it's so important for Circus Baby's Pizza World to happen before the events of FNAF 4? Before 1983? A lot of pieces fit in place if it does. Anyway, in the aftermath of the tragedy, he buries Baby and most of the other humanoid characters underground in a facility that we'll eventually explore in sister location. The rest go on to the new and improved Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria, which is set to reopen. But first, running parallel to
where does he get the money for this?
And I mean all of it, is Fredbear's Family Diner. Not the sister location.
The very first location. No.
But the only sister location actually called a sister location by Phone Guy during his FNAF 3 calls about spring locks.
An unfortunate incident at the sister location.
We know for
the sister
a fact
location.
that Fredbear's Family Diner is the FNAF 4 location based on this purple hat teaser that came out with the release of the game. Brighten the image, look down in the bottom right-hand corner, and fill in the blanks, and you get yourself
Family Diner.
Of Fredbear's
With the
Family
ER at the
Diner.
end.
We also know that it should fit here in the timeline because of one small detail that Scott made note of with the release of FNAF 4's Halloween edition. While Nightmare Puppet and Nightmare Mangle weren't canon, he made it clear that Nightmare Balloon Boy was. Now,
somehow.
if I'm right about Circus Baby's Pizza World and the red-cheeked design of its characters, then the crying child would have come across Balloon Boy. He existed at this point in the timeline. But because both the puppet and Mangle don't exist until the FNAF 2 location, neither of them would be appearing in his nightmares.
So,
therefore, not canon. Therefore, the timeline
just not canon. Just like, yeah, you didn't see that.
So at this point, we know how the story goes.
Just forget you ever saw that.
There is what appears to be a suit technician. Michael Afton, aka the crying child, has witnessed his friends and maybe even his sister get killed. I mean, he's even locked in the supply closet with what appears to be the body of Golden Freddy.
Safety is top priority at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, which is why the classic suits are being retired to an appropriate location while being looked at by our technician.
At the end of the week, at his birthday party, he gets shoved into Fredbear's mouth by his brother and crushed.
Yeah, that's what brothers are for.
The spirits of his dead friends.
That's what brothers are for.
Of them remind them that they're still here for him, and the whole incident goes down in history as the bite of 83.
Sounds like my brother would do, honestly.
TV Easter egg in FNAF 4 and the code in Sister Location's secret room.
How are you supposed to type on that code?
But again, it's here that we hit another little wrinkle. You see, in the FNAF survival logbook, it asks Michael whether his favorite ride was the carousel, a feature that was only present in the FNAF 2 restaurant. This also coincides with my hypothesis earlier about the Midnight Motorist minigame and Junior's being another name for Freddy's version 2. It would make sense that place that he's going to is indeed him running out to the new Freddy Fazbear's location. But we know Michael gets bit in 1983 and that the FNAF 2 location is open in 1987 based on the paychecks you see in the game. Fortunately, though, there's an elegant solution this time. The FNAF 2 location is just open earlier than we thought. Remember, Fredbear's Family Diner being open doesn't preclude a new Freddy's location from also being open at the same time. The new and improved Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria is just open earlier than we all thought, at least as early as 1983, and continuing through 1987 when a new series of murders happens and the fight of 87 gets
It's kind of weird. He took 4 years to murder somebody again.
Place again, have the carousel be his favorite, but still die in 1983. Because William doesn't want to lose another child, especially since he's in his own killing spree, he puts security cameras everywhere.
Why does he kill
the
people?
illusion sound discs first introduced in the Twisted Ones novel.
I really have been against that one from the get-go.
He'll be sorry when he gets back. William is intentionally locking him in his room, giving him nightmares. Hence why Michael is so scared by the time we see him in FNAF 4. Additionally, Ultimate Custom Night proves that the nightmare animatronics are just that. Nightmares. Illusions.
This time, there is more than an illusion to fear.
Is there? What is more?
Flesh to be your tormentor.
Both these lines indicate that before they were just an illusion, they had no flesh. But
now they do.
In the latest game, they are real. So contrary to popular belief, these things were never real animatronics. Just a glorified way for William to keep his son away from his murder locations. Except, obviously, it didn't work. Despite his best,
that could be true.
Best, but definitely his most stalkerish
just
efforts, Michael gets crunched and dies.
Gets
becomes very problematic for the timeline, considering that Michael Afton clearly survived survives till the end of
Chomp,
the game.
chomp,
We
chomp.
see him in Sister Location. We watch him get scooped. We hear about him burning in FNAF 6. How is all of that possible if he's already dead? Surprisingly, there is a way to solve it, and I have the evidence to prove it.
What?
Sadly, it'll have to wait until next time.
Next
This
time.
ended up being a 12-page script.
That's a
There's
long
no way that we can do it
script.
all in 1 week. So in the words of Dee Dee, how unfortunate, how unfortunate. This
Is that what it says when it's about to kill you?
do, but the rest has to go in a part 2. Anyway, don't worry, we'll get
Maybe
it
out
out as
next
fast
week.
as possible. It's already written. I just need to divide this up for editing purposes. In the
Yeah,
meantime,
well, I mean,
though,
this
make
video
sure
did
you
that.
jump
This video
scare
had a
that
lot of
subscribe
editing.
button to, well, who knows what it does at this point, but it
Like I
makes
said,
me
I also
feel
be
good
streaming
about
today
the
at
effort
5
I put
p.m.
into this video, which is really
I'm also
nice.
trying to
So
upload
make
100
me feel
videos
good.
this
It
month.
also improves
I
the
read all your
likelihood
comments
that you're
as
gonna
well.
see the conclusion of this episode, which is even better. And in the meantime, if you missed my last FNAF
Nope, I've
theories,
seen them
well,
all.
watch
There's
the
a playlist on
one
my channel with
from
all of
FNAF 6,
them.
linked on screen right now. You'll need them to really understand part 2 of this theory when we get into the more recent events. Now, if you'll
Will I?
excuse me, remember, that's
Just a
a
theory.
theory.
A game theory. But what's gonna be like the last
game
2 minutes
theory.
here?
I've got to go roll into recording part 2 right now, so I'm gonna go do that. Yeehaw! Final FNAF theories.
Final FNAF
Anyway,
series.
now
I don't know
we've
about
spent an
that.
entire episode chronicling the fictional deaths of 10 to 12. Oh, no,
Maybe
I forgot
more.
the puppet, so that
The
brings it
puppet.
up to a baker's dozen of 13. Now that we've accounted for all those children's heinous murders, let's talk about security.
Oh,
Really, as it
God,
turns
that's what
out,
we're
you
doing?
don't need a human-sized
Is this a
security
VPN?
puppet wandering around your house to keep you safe, but you could probably use a VPN.
I've
They're
never used a
smaller, They
VPN.
require less maintenance, and they are
Get the
like
puppet out of
100%
here.
less murdery. Conveniently, the sponsor for today's episode
Is
is
NordVPN. Of course it's
which, if
NordVPN.
you've never used a VPN before,
I've never
is
used a
a great
VPN
place
before.
to start. I've talked about online security.
But I know
and
they
VPNs
sponsor, like,
in a
everybody.
lot of other
I turned down
episodes, from the whole
so
Watch
many brand
_Dog
deals,
series to a full episode
like,
of Game Lab
a
where I hung
lot,
out with
like,
real
I
world
turned down,
hackers.
like,
If you haven't
3 in the
seen
last
those,
week.
You should probably check them out
Um,
because they're what started my interest in using VPNs to begin
I don't know.
with. Before that, I didn't really even know what a VPN was.
I always
but
knew
the
what they
short
are.
story about them is that they're a program that redirects all the data that comes in and out of your computer from
Somewhere
the
else,
internet,
yeah.
thereby making it a lot harder for someone to hack you or for other malicious
It
stuff
also
to
allows
happen
you to
your
get, like,
devices.
region
It's
lock
basically
things.
like your own
Like, if
personal
you can't
internet
watch
filter. And there are two
a
things
certain
that I like
show
a lot
in
better
America,
about Nord than
but
other
you can watch it in
VPNs,
England,
because, like I said, after
you
those
can
Walker
switch your
and Core Dogs
VPN to
episodes,
England, I
I
think.
tried a bunch. First, Nord allows you to connect 6 devices with just one subscription, meaning
That's
that you
pretty
don't
good.
have to feel
That's
wonky
6.
about
That's a
connecting
family.
to public Wi-Fi anymore,
Well,
whether it's using your computer at McDonald's or your phone.
I actually just bought a laptop.
I just really like fast food
I
and
can
the
edit
internet
and make
the
thumbnails
combination
when
of
I'm
both
away from
those
home.
things, okay?
Most
Second,
expensive
the
thing
Theorist
I've
team and I
ever bought.
actually tested Nord's connection
So,
speeds
yeah.
relative to other VPNs that we've tried in the past, and
thank you
objectively,
for all the
it's
support you've
way
shown.
faster. As you can
Because
imagine, I go through a heck of a
now I'll
lot of
be able to,
internets working on these
edit
episodes,
videos when I'm
so
away
to
from
me,
home.
that was the single most important thing about a VPN. So if you've been worried about connecting to a sketchy Wi-Fi network somewhere, if you have roommates who are fast and loose with your home internet password, or you
and
just want a
loose.
little bit more protection,
I'm the
for
only
all your
person that has my
personal
Wi-Fi
information,
password by
give
heart.
yourself some peace
It's-
of mind and
it's
check
the-
out
it's the-
Nord. There's a link
the
to them down
basic
in the
one that
description
came with
below,
it. It's
so
a
click
bunch
it
of
down there,
spaghetti.
Or simply head to
Like, it's-
nordvpn.com/madpat, where they're having a huge discount off of their subscriptions with our code.
What's that ad
It is
blocker?
almost 80%
What is that ad
off,
blocker?
Which is massive. So go and
I
do
see
it now.
that.
Protect yourself
Yeah, it's
the
honey, though.
purest way. Hackers are way scarier than animatronics.
They are.
I don't know what you're still waiting for. Security Puppet was not effective. I mean, look at how many
Security
kids
Puppet.
still died. What were they thinking?
Very true. I wonder how much they paid for NordVPN paid him for that. I mean, 29 million views. Or was it 29 or no? It was 29 million. Yeah, it was 29. That okay. But the next video is a part 2, and it's over 23 minutes long. So he wrote the script for like 45 minutes or 46 minutes of content. That's insane. Like, no wonder why it had to be a part 2. Nobody was gonna watch a 45-minute long video on this. That would be, you know, it would not get 29 million views if it was 46 minutes longer, 50 minutes longer. Maybe he's gonna have an ad spot in that one too, so he's maybe to get basically double dip on that sponsorship. I'm not really sure. Like I said, I turned down every brand deal unless it's from a company that I actually like support and trust and use myself, like vitamin water. I've been drinking vitamin water for years, and then they reached out to me to sponsor me, and I was like, yeah. I've been drinking every single day for years, and I still drink it now. So, this is wild. That dude putting together the Reddit user, that was pretty cool. That was pretty cool. He figured that out. But this is an interesting theory. I'm not sure how correct it is. Based on the comments of the last video, a lot of people were saying this is when he started to get everything right, or not everything, but a lot of stuff right about his theories. So we're to that point. It's really exciting. I'm excited to see how it's all come full circle. Part of me thought about when I was like first starting this, like all the way back here, all the way back in the beginning, I thought about like Wait, is it really only that far? I swear I've been doing this for a lot longer. Like, the scary... Wait a minute. Did Taylor he took stuff out of place. This place has been going on for a lot longer than that. But, when I thought about going back to the very first ones, and then people are like, yeah, it's so crazy to see how it's gone now. I thought about, like, going from, like, the second theory to, like, the newest theory, and just being like, huh? How did we get here? But it's been a journey. I've really enjoyed it. I hope you're subscribed. You can become a patron. Like I said, I'm doing 100 videos this month. So right now is literally the best value if you become a patron right now. Literally $3 a month. It allows me to have a paywall on channel because I'm here to make you smile, not make you pay. But I hope you have a wonderful rest today. Stop by the stream at 5 p.m. playing some Pokemon. It's a fun time. It's always a fun time. My favorite stream of the week. And I hope you have a wonderful rest today. But until next video, take care and cue the music.
We were